Do y'all remember the show Wife Swap when the women would swap with the families? So like I would go to Janelle's, Janelle will come to mine. She'd be with my husband, I'd be with her husband. That's a crazy show, right? Y'all remember Wife Swap? It was what, a decade or so ago? Did any of y'all watch it? I wasn't like an avid watcher, but if it was on or if I would see clips or whatever, I thought that was nuts. Y'all remember the lady? She went viral because she went in there and threw all the food out and stuff. You used to watch it? Okay. And she threw all the food, like, we're not gonna eat this, we're not gonna eat this. And she was throwing it. Little kid was like, wait a minute, you're not gonna take my bacon. Listen, they're doing job swaps now. But I don't know how I feel about this. I want to get y'all opinion. Tell me how y'all feel about this. What they're saying is this, and I'm gonna pull up the article so we can go through it together. Instead of, because we don't have the money, right? These are the employers. What they're saying is we don't have the money to give you the promotion. We don't have the money right now. We don't want to lay you off. So listen, Robin, you can go over there and swap places with Loretta and get some skills, pick up some skills. Maybe you're in marketing and Loretta's over there in finance. Don't you want to learn about that? Listen, we're giving you an opportunity to pick up some finance skills, right? John said, no way. This is what I'm saying, Derek. This is what I'm saying. It was crazy, right? Let's pull it up. Let's talk about it. This is what they are resorting to, but I'm gonna let y'all read it for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Let me know how you feel about it. They're saying, listen, we don't want to lay you off and we can't give you a promotion, but we got another idea. I'm making fun, but I'm gonna break it down for you all. I actually had to do incognito because they was tripping with the paywall. But listen, we figure stuff out around these parts. So here it is. That's not it. Here it is. So people are feeling stuck in their jobs and bosses are starting to worry. And here's what they're saying. They're saying you are likely not getting a big promotion this year. So, hey, what about, here we go, right here, y'all. What about a job swap? Let me make this bigger. Let me make this a little bit bigger so y'all can see. They're saying, hey, what about a job swap? How y'all feel about that? John, you and Derek can trade places. I'm just saying, we're not going to give you a promotion, John, but listen, you can pick up the same skills that Derek has. Derek, you can swap places with John. Many workers say they are considering that question as they feel stuck in their roles. With white-collar labor market cooling and declining turnover leading to fewer internal moves, a sense of malice and frustration is growing inside big companies. So the bosses, they're noticing, which I think is a good thing. They're like, okay, our people getting frustrated. We got to do something, y'all. Listen, it says bosses are noticing. At a range of companies, employers are trying new tactics to spur movement. Consulting giant McKinsey is increasing the size of its mobility budget to let employees take projects in new cities, if only for a few months, to help staffers grow. And they mean grow professionally. Listen, you can take, Loretta, you can go to New York and you can do that job for a few months. We can't give you a promotion now. We can't give you any money right now. We don't have any money for professional stipend. But we got this project. We'll go on down to Hawaii for a couple months to help you with your professional development. There's a credit card issuer, Synchrony Financial. They're letting some people apply for temporary positions on other teams. Y'all see it? Temporary positions on other teams. Right? So Janelle, go over there to Crystal and do Crystal's job. Crystal, you go over there and do Janelle's job. You have to apply. Y'all caught that, right? This is insane. You got to apply for it, Crystal. And you and Janelle can swap. Exact Sciences, which is a diagnostics company, is expanding some roles to give people fresh challenges. Listen, we can't give you a promotion, but we know you feel stuck. You feel stagnant. There's no growth opportunities. There's no money, and we don't want to lay you off. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to expand some roles and have you apply for this temporary position because this is going to help you grow. And listen, Kevin Conroy, he is the chief executive of Exact Sciences in Madison, Wisconsin. He said, the very best people, is this you? He said, the very best people want new experiences. So he knows that the good people want challenges. So they're trying to come up with some type of suggestions, ideas, concepts, programs, initiatives, because we can't lose our best people. We can't pay them. But this Exact Sciences is the company that makes the colon cancer test, Cologuard. And he says, we know they want a career path and we know that they want to be promoted. Listen, y'all, when lots of people are quitting, it is easier to move people around or to bring in outside hires to inject fresh energy to teams, executives say. But listen, the environment now is different because that used to be our other tactic. We would just hire people on the outside to bring some freshness in here because our current employees are stale. I mean, I didn't say it. This is the implication. And so now voluntary turnover within companies has fallen from 17 to 12% in 2022. But according to data from professional services company Aon, these employers, they surveyed them on pay and attrition trends. And companies call it regrettable turnover, losing employees they would rather keep. This has also declined as more high performers are staying put, according to Aon data. Now, they go on to talk about the unemployment rate. They say that it is climbing. This is in June. Hiring does remain strong in many parts of the economy. We talk about this, especially inside of our community. We talk about the high demand areas. I think last week we talked on a live show, right? We talked about green skills and renewable energy and autonomous vehicles. These are some of the things in some of these areas that's remaining strong that they're talking about here. It says rates of promotion into management have fallen across nearly all age groups. This is according to ADP. So let's paint the picture. The rates of promotion into management, it's fallen. Companies can't do it. So this is what we're doing. They said this is the challenge for companies, executives say, is how to find ways to create growth opportunities, even if that doesn't mean a substantial pay raise or a title change. There it is. There it is. Can I tell you how many conversations I've had this week, and it's only Tuesday, of people having conversations with their managers and them telling them that, hey, if you want to look around, it's okay. It's just Tuesday. In an area of efficiency, CEOs are often reluctant to add roles or create layers of additional middle managers within organizations. Instead, many companies are focusing more on training, pushing managers to give more coaching to employees in one-on-one meetings to propel staffers forward. There's much greater emphasis around skills-based approaches. Now, in here, if you're new to us, and if you're watching the replay, the one thing that we do in this community here is we educate ourselves by getting the exposure to equip us to be empowered to go after opportunities, and most importantly, have them attracted to us, because the majority of us that are on this call tonight and you're watching me via the replay, you have extensive experience, a decade or more in a certain area. And we've been talking for years, my OGs in here can tell you about skills. In our community, we do a LinkedIn audit, and what I talk about, y'all, in there, skills. It's about your skill set, you all. It's about your skills. I want you to think about your skills from various ways, from a combination of skills that you have. I was talking to Derek the other day, and he said, Kelly, I worked in all the different plants. So he's highly sought after. He's highly sought after because he has been in different types of manufacturing, distribution, plants, and things like that. And for what he does, he's highly sought after, and it's his skill base. And for some of you that have been sitting in the same place for years and for decades doing the same thing and not acquiring skills, that is not high demand. And you've seen this word, you've heard me say it over and over and over and over again. They just said it in this article. They said for the high performers. So how do you create better pathways, more mobility, and more development? This is a senior partner at McKinsey who is a leader in the firm's people and organizational performance group. At the financial institution, which has about 20,000 employees, the company has experimented with job swaps within a range of departments, including tech, credit, and finance. And here's how it works. An employee in one role can switch with a colleague elsewhere for as little as 90 days to a year or more. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying that this is a bad thing. But what, from my perspective and my own personal view, is if you are putting this in place of giving me money or promotion, that's where, to me, that's where I have the problem. Because I think it should be hand in hand. I think I should get the promotion and have the opportunity to do a stretch project or do a swap if I want to. But if you're putting it in place and you're saying, I don't want to lose you, so here, I just feel like you're throwing me a bone. Now, if you're testing out an approach, because we do want to help you in terms of reskilling and upskilling, and Kelly, you work in HR and talent acquisition, and maybe go over there in marketing because there's going to be a need next year because we're revamping and going into digital marketing. I want you to get a feel for the space. I'm okay with that. One of the things I used to do when I was recruiting for one company, I would go and sit in their staff meetings, and I would just sit in there so I can hear what's going on, who they would be hiring, kind of what the next projects were and things like that. So I'm okay learning new skills, but don't take my promotion and my money away because you don't want to pay it. That's just me, though. That's just me. DJ Casto of Synchrony's Chief Human Resources Officer said, this helps with some of the lack of natural attrition. They don't want you to leave. So we will put in some job swapping. And listen, you're building a new skill set. This what Casto's saying. DJ saying, listen, you're building a new skill set and you're getting experience. How we feel about that, y'all? Matt Menning, who's right here in Atlanta, is a vice president at Synchrony. In May, he left his position in operations for a 3-month stint in engineering as an IT quality assurance lead, helping a team of engineers test software code and troubleshoot issues. Another employee temporarily swapped into his operations job, and Menning will return to his prior role in August. Now, here's where I can see this scenario being beneficial, because I've made this recommendation to clients that I've worked with. If you are, let's say you're vying for a VP role and you don't have a certain skill, maybe, I don't know, maybe you've never had over $1 million in budgetary responsibilities, and that's something that a VP in a certain area would need. We've mapped out a plan for this director to take a lateral move and even sometimes a step back in order to pick up that skill and then move into the role. So there are cases, you all. Again, I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but the way this is presented to me, because they started off talking about we can't, that was the very first sentence. We can't give you a promotion. But I do know that there are times where if you want to pick up the skill, and y'all let me know what you think, you might have to take a step back. And I think that's okay. If I need to go and pick this up, I think we talked about this a few years ago. If I need to go pick up this skill just to make me whole and then go after that VP role, I'm okay with that. Or maybe I need to take a lateral move. If my company would allow me to go over in finance or marketing or engineering for 3 months for a stretch project, I'm okay with that. If I can see the future, if I can see the next step forward for me. Y'all get what I'm saying? Now, they said the other employee temporarily swapped into his operations job and Minning will return to his prior role in August. And let me see, what was he, y'all? Yeah, he was associate vice president. A more than 10-year company veteran, Minning, had been in his position for almost 2 years and saw the job swap as a way to build new skills. This is what he said. He said, I'm at a point where I want to start looking at the next step, the next level within our company. The 46-year-old, he's 46. He said, I'm learning every day. And so the HR chief, Casto, has discovered that in periods of lower turnover, some employees might not want a new position, but they don't want to feel trapped in their current roles. So maybe John doesn't want a new position, but he also doesn't want to feel trapped where he is at his current employer. Maybe you like the work that you're doing, but there hasn't been any challenge. There hasn't been any growth. There hasn't been any opportunities I don't see a path for me. And I've been doing it for this long. And so they're using the word trapped. And earlier they said stuck. And so their solution for this is, okay, we don't want to lose you all. You are a good employee. How about this? You go over there for 3 months. You can pick up some skills and experience and then come back. But here's my thought. And again, I'm open. Y'all tell me what you all think. My thought is this. If I'm going to go from a recruiter and I'm going to go and sit in finance and learn how they do accounts receivable and accounts payable, what if I don't want to? I don't feel like that's going to help me. I can't imagine that there's a list of swap opportunities. I'm thinking there's like, okay, here's the departments where this swap is okay to do. And it's like, pick one. So it's got to be a match there. I don't know. Maybe that's me. Maybe that's me. So he goes on. This is the HR chief, Castell. They want the ability to think about doing something net new and being empowered to do what's best for them. That's what we do here, right? We get empowered. And this is to my point, to do what's best for them. I don't see me going over there as best for me, and I don't want anybody deciding for me what's good for me. Maybe I don't want to do that anymore. Maybe I want to do something different. Maybe I want to be a nurse. He said, when you're just told there isn't opportunity or options, then all of a sudden your mindset changes. This is my entire point. This is a quick fix to them. I don't even know if it's quick. This is just a fix for them. This is an idea. And just like he said, this is Minning, who did the 3-month thing. He said, when you're just told that there isn't opportunity or options, then all of a sudden your mindset changes. What am I going to do? What McKinsey did was increase their mobility budget. I think they were hiring for mobile something to allow people to take on projects in new cities. The goal, he said, is to make it easier for people to gain new experiences elsewhere, sharpening their skills and giving them a more global understanding of the world. He said, if you've worked in 2 or 3 countries, you have a very different perspective than if you've only worked in one, he said. I'm gonna finish this and we're gonna come back. A job market like this one favors employers. Let's go back up here. I want to unpack this real quick. So this is Bob. Bob is saying he's a managing partner at McKinsey. This is where I have a problem though, y'all. This is what he said. If you've worked in 2 or 3 countries, you have a very different perspective than if you've only worked in one. The problem I have with that is you're making a judgment call for somebody. So in your mind, you're saying, Kelly, go to Asia, go to Singapore, go to Africa, go to Australia. Because right now you've only been in the US. If you go there, then you're going to have all of this global experience and global knowledge, which is good for you. You don't know what's good for me. And I don't think they ask. I think they put this in place to say, here, we're rolling this out and here's opportunity. Now, that's not a bad thing again. But I have a issue with people deciding for other people. That's just like me saying, hey, Elizabeth, go ahead and go to China. Your resume looks good, but if you put China on here, you're going to be wide open for this and you might get some opportunities in China. Elizabeth Kelly, she might say, Kelly, I don't want to do nothing global. You know what I'm saying? Now he goes on, he says, a job market like this, which I agree, I do agree on this. A job market like this one favors employers. Even so, it is a mistake for companies to ignore. Okay, they got to it. I'm reading this with y'all real time. Y'all, this was my point, right? It is a mistake for companies to ignore workers' feelings or ambitions. See, they was reading my mind. Feelings or ambitions, veteran human resources executives say, because talented employees retain options. Boom, there it is. There it is. That's it. That's exactly what I'm saying. So they agree with me. So that's what I was saying. It's a mistake for them to determine what's best for me. Just ask. Okay, Elizabeth, what are your goals? What's next for you? Here's where we stand. Right now, we're not able to dole out any promotions company-wide. And unfortunately, performance review, we're not able to provide any raises, but we do have an opportunity for you to take an extended project out in China. Is that something you're open to? Elizabeth might say, that wasn't in my, on my career path. That's not really what I was thinking about or considering. I'm looking to move this way. And in my opinion, if you ask people, and either you can do it or not, but I think it's better to ask than to say, here is this thing. He goes on, this is Bob. He says, we've all seen the market come and go. And when it comes back, they'll all quit. That is my point. Bob is feeling me because this is my point. He's the chief human resources officer at Allstate. Here's the thing. John can go and take Derek role and Derek can do John role. But when he come back, John going to be like, all right, what's next? Derek going to be like, okay, that was great. That was cool and everything. But now I'm back. What now? I don't know. I don't, and I'm, McKinsey's pretty smart. So I'm not going to say, I don't know how far they thought this out, but I'm sure they have. Let me see what y'all saying. Cause this is me. This is what I'm thinking. Let me see what y'all say. Let me come back and we're going to keep going. Derek said, I've noticed a change in open management opportunities in my field. Some of the management positions for supervisors and engineers have been delegated to specialist positions. They're changing the title. Y'all see that? Janelle said, oh, gee, y'all laughing. This is what I'm saying, y'all. Elizabeth said, I like the idea of selecting something I have never done, but I have to have an interest. That's my point. That's my point. I don't think it's bad, but I do think there's a way to position it as opportunities and roll it out. And again, I don't know how they roll it out. I'm just speaking, just having a point of view. right? And to say, company-wide memo or however they want to do it, here's some opportunities, right? For those that are interested, it'll be on an application basis or however they want to do it. Elizabeth said the first allows their employees every few years to swap front Eastern region to Western region that performs the same job. I think that's amazing. Robin said, I actually would swap with communications, but again, no one in communication is going to want to work with the C-suite team because they are special. Y'all are special, Robin. So if you wanted to go to communication, Robin, they wouldn't want to work with you because you're in the C-suite. Jacqueline said, what about Hawaii? I know that's right. Jacqueline. John said, I like it. Get the skills and experience. Okay, that's fair. That's fair, y'all. That's fair. Crystal said, the only way I job swap is if I plan on putting those skills on my resume and eventually taking my talents to South Beach. Someone else has to have a position available eventually. I like to see, I don't know how to say, I like to see, I don't know. I just like to see where I'm going. Even if I don't know it, I like to see what's in front of me. Like I know, okay, I see it's a stoplight coming up there. Eventually I got to stop, right? Sometimes I know you can't see as far, but if I'm going to go and work over there in finance, I want to know, okay, I'm going to go and get accounts receivable. I'm going to get budgeting, and I'm going to get, I don't know, pivot table skills. This is my goal. That's me, right? And then I'll be able to use that when I start my business venture to do this. Like I needed to make sense. Now, everything I know don't make sense. I know everything don't make sense. But I think Elizabeth was saying it has to, if I got an interest in it. So I don't know. Teresa said this may be simplistic thinking, but it's reminiscent of a forced relocate. I don't think it's simplistic thinking, T. I don't think so. Because the point, and we're going to dive back in and talk about this from an internal perspective. The very first line of this article said, you're not getting a promotion, but to me, when you say that, when you kick the conversation off like that, is you can't pay me and you don't want to lay me off. So you say, so here, that's a problem to me. I just have a problem. Robin said, what if you don't want to go back? That's like the wife swap, right? Wasn't it the wife that she didn't want to go back when they did the wife swap? She's like, I want to stay over here with this family. I'm just saying. Elizabeth said, I've been thinking about volunteering to be on a board of directors for a nonprofit because I need to learn how to write a grant for my own nonprofit. Now, I think that's great. I think that's good. Now, here's the difference, Elizabeth, right? This is your decision. And you have there's an outcome for what you're doing. That's the difference that I see. You already been thinking about it. You know the outcome. Because I want to learn to write a grant for my own nonprofit. You have an outcome. You've already been thinking about it, and you know exactly what to do to get it. This is saying, here, you go over here, Stacy, because it's good for you to have 3 countries under your belt versus 1. That's what they said. Teresa said, I like the idea of this, but something that I've searched out and selected, a work from anywhere option, that works too. That's true. That's true, y'all. That's true. Let's jump in. Let's look at from an internal perspective. Again, it's not a bad thing. I think you learn and you grow. You got to do new things in order to learn and grow. I just believe that it should be something that you're interested in and that is going to benefit you in the long run. Don't put me over in finance if I don't want to go, regardless of if you think it's good for me or not. Now, again, it's almost like I'm thinking about when I played volleyball and I didn't want to play a particular position, but she put me there so I can learn different moves and get more agile and more different around the court, right? Different feelings of how the ball come to you over here versus over here. But I was younger then too. right? I couldn't make my own decisions. So I'm just trying to think of scenarios where I say, okay, I see what they're doing. Because to me, I just feel like what Teresa was saying. I just feel like it's a I don't even know the term. Like they're putting it's forced. I'll just say that. Like she said, I just feel like it's forced. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Just saying. All right, let's look at from an internal perspective. All states hiring has slowed, right? And this is Bob talking. He's a chief HR officer at Allstate, and he asked the company's recruiters to focus their efforts internally. Now check this out, y'all, because this could affect you. This could happen. He said, listen, we're not hiring outside. I want you to look for people inside, which is a good thing, y'all. Now recruiters are now setting up 20-minute to hour-long coffee chats with employees across the company, asking them what they would like to do in the future and how they are thinking about their careers. I can get down with this. Me and Bob, cool. Initially, some employees blanched at those calls, wondering what HR what they wanted. I can see that happening as well. We used to walk out to the call center and everybody just eyes bugged out because they think something popping up. I can see that. When you get a call from a recruiter internally, you start to go, am I losing my job? Okay. So yeah, that's the thought of, if you're not, this is what people think. When you get a call from a recruiter, you start to go, am I losing my job? That's what Bob said. But instead, the conversations have had the effect of showing employees that the company is interested in their careers. I agree with this. Ask somebody what they want. When jobs come open, Allstate has given priority to filling them with existing staff. I think that's a good thing. It shows, internal promotion and growth. The company this year has filled 60% of its roles internally, up from 45% last year. I don't think that's a bad thing. Do y'all? I think that's a good thing. That's creating this internal movement too, he said. We're using our recruiters as talent agents. I like that. Allstate is also rolling out an internal tool this month to make it easier for employees to see open projects on their teams. I like that. What do y'all think about that? If you're able to look in your engineering department or in your marketing department or in your HR department and see if they got a project that's open for people to come and try. Now that I can get with, because it's like applying for a job internally. And it doesn't feel forced, like T was saying. Internally, month to month. So Allstate is rolling out an internal tool this month to make it easier for employees to see open projects on their team, on other teams. Managers don't need to approve an employee taking on a new role, a restriction that can hold people back from pursuing new experiences that was removed in 2022. So in 2022, it looks like there was a restriction because managers had to approve. I've worked for companies like that. They had to approve people moving around internally. We want people to think about their career, both moving left, right, and up, Bob said. I think we have to get away from just, I move up. It's how do I progress? I'm rocking with Bob. I can get with that. How do I progress is a better way of thinking about movement internally and asking people, what are your career aspirations? What are your career goals? Ask me. Don't just give me, like Teresa, don't force me. Ask me. I like progress because, as I mentioned earlier, it may be that you have to take a lateral move and go to the right. It may be you may have to take a step down to pick up that skill so you can go this way. I'm okay with that. What y'all think about that? I like Allstate. We might need to check Allstate out because I like Bob. I don't know if he's still there, but I like Bob. I like the way he thinks about it being, you thinking about it from how do I progress versus how do I get promoted or how do I get, we still want to get promoted, but most of us is because of the money. So if I'm progressing laterally to the left or to the right, and I'm taking on more responsibilities and more tasks, more job duties, that should come with more money as well. Because I'm learning, I'm picking up this new skill. I'm learning this. on top of what I already know, I'm now a better asset to you, Allstate, because not only do I know my job, I know this job as well. And for me personally, that's a combination of skills that I can share on my LinkedIn, on my resume with the world. That, hey, I've worked in marketing, but I've also had some experience and I have a skill set from finance that I use because I took this project. I did that at a company where I was brand manager for 2 years. For 2 years, it was amazing. It was amazing. That's right. Bob's talking sense, y'all. Bob is talking sense. Bob is talking sense. So when it comes to job swapping, this is something I want you to think about. And again, it had me thinking about the people that I've been talking to, and it's just Tuesday. And this was last week I started talking to people, and I'm like, think about one person talking to different people every day, and they all saying the same thing. They all saying the same thing. I talked to my manager and, they didn't really say it, but they did say, listen, I won't be mad if you're looking for something, if you start looking for something. So it's telling me as a person that's talking to these different people, I'm like, okay, something's happened because I've never seen it like this before. So I share this with you today. One, we need more skills. If you haven't acquired additional skills, if you've been sitting there doing the same job over and over, don't do that to yourself. Because every time we have a conversation in here, if I'm reading an article, if I'm sharing a video, if I'm doing a YouTube video or a reel or short or something like that, I'm talking about high performers. Companies now, they don't need just people. We talked about this last week. That's replaceable. They don't need cookie cutters. They need people that are high performers with a skill set that's in high demand and hard to find. I think I told y'all a couple of weeks ago that I was approached for a great opportunity, lots of money, and it's because I had a combination of skills. Vendor management. I've worked with vendors that were staffing agencies to bring in offshore people, to bring in contractors. I've had agency experience, recruiting, corporate recruiting, and agents. It's the combination of what you do. And a lot of you have it, but it's just that you don't communicate it, whether it's on your documents or in an interview or in your LinkedIn or in your portfolio or on your website. You have it, but you don't communicate it. Right? Robin's in the C-suite. So imagine what she gets to see in the conversation she gets to hear. You leverage that, y'all. And I know we don't think about that, but when you're in rooms, when you are, the first thing I said when we started this, it's the exposure. It's called proximity bias. When you're in proximity to someone that has skills that you want to attain or acquire, or that you could use or are beneficial to you, you take that on. And sometimes, y'all, that's even better than money. I know we're talking about money and what they're saying, but the opportunity, like Elizabeth was saying, it has to be something I'm interested in. I talked to Teresa today, and she's doing a career path for us inside of Expert Edge for project management. And she said, Kelly, just learning from you, that touched me, because some people don't appreciate it. And I'm not, it ain't even about me. It's about, I know what it took for me to get the information. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mind sharing it. But I know people that's smart enough to recognize just being in proximity to skills and exposure. It was someone that got, not beat up, but just got ragged on online because they paid $25,000 to be in this celebrity's presence. But when that person came back online, they said, what the thing with y'all is, y'all don't even realize that what I learned by being in that room for that 1 hour has made me $2 million. Some of y'all are in rooms, in spaces, in organizations, and you're taking for granted the proximity. Especially if you're on your way out, if they're subtly throwing hints to you, it's time for you to go back and recall all those things you've learned and the people that you have talked to and the collaborations that you've done and some of the meetings that you've been in and the people and the teams in the UK and New York and Australia and Dallas and in Tampa and in wherever. It's time to be thinking about and collecting all of that and getting it down. Getting it down. I talk about a brag book. And I think it was Robin who said in the community, she made an excellent point because I know this to be true. And I get so hyped about it because I can see the potential in people, but it don't matter if I see it. And she said, Kelly, it's not, she said it in the community. She said, it's not easy for us to talk about ourselves. And it's so true. And I know it's true. I know it's true. But y'all know me. I'm like, hey, put that on there. Put that on your resume. Do this. Put that on there. Because I know what the world will think about it. Whereas you've done it, you worked on it, you do it every day. You don't really think about it. I just had this conversation with somebody. I'm like, what? You work with who? It's like, yeah, I do that. And I'm like, okay. Because I get chills because I love what I do, right? But some of y'all are doing that right now. You're in rooms with surgeons and nurses, and you go to these professional affiliations and these conferences, and you're talking and doing all the things, and you just go home and go to bed, or, these are opportunities for you. And I want you to leverage them. I want you to use them to your benefit. When you're in proximity to someone, that's why I'm passionate about our group. Teresa was at Visa, y'all. She ran a whole team of cybersecurity stuff. Like, who you know at Visa? I don't know nobody that was there. That's leverage for you. Derek got all this experience. He'll talk about it all day. Just talk about it. Don't even take this when we gather like this. Don't take it for granted, y'all. Get some info. I tell y'all this all the time. Connect. You don't know who's in their network that you might be. Oh, you got so-and-so in your network? Oh my gosh, I've been trying to get with them. I follow them. And can you do an introduction? Yeah. But we won't even do that, y'all. The more you learn, the more you earn. We all like to learn. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here together. I don't want it to get lost on you all. What I said at the top of the hour, what I said in the middle, and I'm going to say it again right now. It's not a coincidence that it's just Tuesday. And I've talked to 3 people who have been talking to their bosses about finding other work. Their boss has told them that's not normal. I've been doing this a long time. Something's happening. You got to use everything you got. And all of y'all have a lot. There's some smart people right there in them comments. Look at the comments. There's a bunch of people in here. Janelle, Derek, Elizabeth, Teresa, John, Robin. Connect. That's not hard. Push a button. Just connect. Get in the community. I am kellyjackson.com. Kelly with an I. Get in a space where you plugged in, just like these lights. They plugged in. Get plugged in. Stay plugged in. Stay close, because you never know. You never know. And you want to be in a space that can support you and be there for you. Robin put 4 or 5 jobs in the community every week. Look at the job description. See what it takes. You know what? I got most of these, but I just need to get this right here. You know what? Kelly told us not to just sit around, and I'm in here and I'm looking at this. Isn't a mistake. I don't believe in mistake. Let me just look. Let's stay plugged in, stay tapped in, and use everything you got. Everything you got. Everything you got. You've been given it for a reason. Use everything you got. Starting over is not starting from scratch. You got something. Use that to your advantage. It's leverage. It's too many of us, y'all, for anybody not to have what they want. We can do it together. It's not a one-man show. It takes a village. Y'all heard that before. Y'all heard it before. Back in the day, they had tribes. They had villages. They had groups, and they stayed together, y'all. When you see wolves in the snow in the mountains, they stay in a pack for a reason. We want to go solo and do our own things. You see other cultures and other communities, they help each other out. It's a reason why some cultures stay in the same apartment. There's 20 of them in there. It's a reason that other cultures, they hand, I'm going off now on a tangent, but they take money and they help others buy their homes. I've seen it. I told y'all the story several times. Sitting in the girl's office, a car pulls up. It's her husband with two people in the back. She go outside. She come back in crying. I said, what's wrong? She said, they just gave us $10,000 so we can put the down payment on our house. We had 10, they gave us 10. Now we put in 20,000. That's what we do in our culture. And we won't even connect with each other. We won't even connect. Times are changed, y'all. Times have changed. I'm done. John, you got to find the person. I was about to say the gender, but I'm not. You got to find them. So we're doing a challenge. There's only a few people in the challenge. It's okay. People don't want to connect. That's okay. I'm trying. That's all I can do. That's it. I'm not gonna force it. Y'all just don't know what you're missing. I'm not gonna force it. So we're doing a challenge. I put the challenge. I think it was Sunday. Was it, John? Sunday. And I said, find the person in the group that worked for a major television network. This you have to open your mouth. Right? You gotta reach out. You gotta talk to some people. That's how it works. Because I wanted y'all to connect. But it's only going to help you. It's only going to help you. All right, y'all hit that thumbs up for me. Y'all hit that like button for me if you like this. Can y'all still hear me? Because my number dropped drastically. Did I lose y'all? I know it's been blinking for some reason. We don't have any bad weather, so I'm not sure why. But listen, y'all hit the like button if you like this. Let me know. Did you learn something, y'all? Elizabeth said trade-off. If you do not get more money for the move, then paid time off would maybe work for me. Yeah. I think I lost y'all because I don't see y'all typing. Did I lose y'all? I think I lost y'all. Oh, you can hear me? Okay. I'm like, what happened? Okay. Y'all hit the thumbs up if this was helpful, informative, made you think, consider some things maybe. Any takeaways? Anything you think about? Helpful in any way? I always want to just get the wheels turning. Y'all know, right? We just want to get the wheels turning. Just get the wheels turning. Things to consider, things to think about. All love, right? It's coming from all love. But I want all of us to connect and make sure that, we don't want to be blindsided. It's stuff happening and there's no reason. May not feel good. I get that. I was telling somebody that yesterday. It doesn't feel good. I know. And they're exhausted and it's stressful. But if you have support and you have a plan and you have a toolkit to tap into, we always talk about tapping into our toolkit, then it's not as overwhelming and stressful. You stay prepared so you don't have to get prepared.